are here live talking to you about real estate investing tips and strategies with my friend Dan Borrero. What up, Dan?
What's going on, Mr. Haskins? So tell everybody you're in the car with your family. Tell them why.
Yo, I'm in the car, in the coach, coming to the city. I'm coming to New York to hang out with my friend Dan Borrero. I got everybody here with me. Y'all say what up? We in the car, Dan, on the way. We're on the way to the
Love it,
city.
love it. So let me see if I got this right. You driving from Virginia and you got your wife driving. What's up with that?
Well, I was eating a minute ago when I was live with you, so she don't like me to eat drive. I can barely drive when I'm not eating.
So tell everybody what we're going to be doing when you get here, brother.
Yeah, so look, we're coming there. We're going to be doing a dinner training to coach and train you how to do real estate the right way, not have to worry about the banks and not having to worry about sucking up to lenders and begging for loans and all that stuff. I'm going to be showing you how to find these lenders. I just got a new way that I'm implementing myself, how to locate these private lenders for your business. And got to show you creative financing. He who understands creative real estate over the next 5 years is going to completely crush the game. I'm seeing it.
Listen, you know what? I personally think whether it's now, 5 years ago, or 5 years from now, if you can't master how to get creative financing or how to negotiate a creative financing deal, you know, you your trajectory is not going to be as steep as those individuals that understand what creative financing is and how to negotiate it.
That's right, man. Well, here's the thing for me, it wasn't an option. So I want people to, I really earnestly want people to know that you got options. You don't gotta just worry about turning in bank applications, and not that that's a bad thing. I mean, some it works for some people, Dan. It just didn't work for me after I got all those foreclosures back in 08, 09.
Yeah, and not only that, it's the time that it consumes, right? When you go traditional financing through the banks, and it's extremely stressful. Like, so in my case, I've figured it out over the years, right? So at any given time, let's say the bank says to me, "Hey, we need your last 2 years tax returns." I'm sending the bank my last 2 years personal returns, and I'm sending the bank the last 2 years of all my business returns. And they're gonna say,
Wow.
"Hey, no, we don't need that." And I'm say, "Yes, you do, because once the underwriter looks at it, they're gonna ask me for my K-1s, and then they're gonna ask me after they see my K-1s, they're gonna ask me for the business tax returns to see how healthy each business is. So let me just give you to you all at once to save all that time."
Man, like, I'm one
Yeah,
of them.
well, again, but when you do creative financing, you don't need that, right? You know,
Oh
you don't.
yeah,
It's a lot easier.
much easier. But I want people to understand. I had a coaching session today. I'm like, we have to keep our minds open to the possibilities of all type of acquisition strategies. You gotta just not only learn this stuff, but you gotta believe it's possible. Because I didn't believe it was possible many years ago. I heard about it. I used to be like, "Is this for me? Can I really do this?"
You know what? I want everyone here to realize, understand. If Chris Haskins and I could do this, anybody could do this.
Oh my lord! Yeah, I'm like, I don't want. Dan used to. Dan heard Dan say, "Don't be too smart in the business. You're too smart."
I always say, you right. What do I? Smart people complicate this business. This is a simple business.
Y'all get your questions in for Dan. If you got any questions, we're going to be in Newark, New Jersey, July 10th. All the information is right below in the video description. I'm coming up right now. I'm on the way to New York right now as we speak to meet you, hang out with you, network with you, see how we can help your business, show you how to. And then you could be talking about your specialty dealing with residents and management. Tell the
Yeah.
roundup generally about management, how important most people
So
think earning
Chris is
is.
going to be talking about subject to and how to do creative financing, of course, and private money. And I'm going to be discussing. All right. So this is how Chris is going to tell you how to acquire that property with the financing and creative financing. But you could get the property at the right price. You could renovate the property at the right number. You could, get the creative financing. But if you don't manage your tenants, you're done. You're screwed. You're finished.
Yeah, you're done.
You're finished. The tenants will school you. So if you don't want to get schooled by your tenants, be in the room because we're going to be discussing that.
It's funny you mentioned that. I just found out one of my tenants that she knows she's not supposed to have a dog. Found out she had a dog today, so I got to make a decision on this thing.
Yeah, and the crazy part is, you know, I'll give you an example. My realtor called me up yesterday. He says, "Hey Dan, we got a problem." I said, "Well, what's the problem?" And he says, "Well, I had a tenant who called me up and asked me about the listing that it says no dogs." And I said, "Yes, no dogs allowed." And the tenant said that they have a support dog. I said, and I said, "Okay." He said, "Okay." So she said, "Well, when can I see it?" He says, "Well, we're having an open house on such and such date." And she immediately sends him an email with the statute, the federal statute on support emotional dogs,
Oh
right?
my lord.
And how she wants to see the property before um the open house to ensure that she's not pushed aside because she has an emotional support dog. So I said to him, "All right, well, how is that my problem?" So he says, "Well, because she's basically saying she's gonna sue us or sue you if she doesn't get the apartment." And I said, "Well, she can't sue me because I never spoken to her. Um, you're the one who's got the problem, not me, and that's why I got a realtor because I don't want to deal with that stupidity." I said, "But she's not even my tenant, and her terminology, although she's not literally saying she's going to sue me, her terminology indicates that's what she's going to do."
She
So
got
we're
she
going to be
she
discussing how do you manage that type of a tenant applicant, right? And how do you foresee the problems? Like she's not even my tenant, and I already know if she was my tenant, I'm gonna have a miserable life with her while she's in my
oh
building,
my lord.
right?
That's
So we're
great.
gonna be talking about how to, and not because of the dog, because I have plenty of tenants with pets. I accept, you know, uh, you know, but I'd rather not. But I will consider it, right? But again, we're going to be discussing how do you manage that type of a personality.
That's weird to say that. My mentor told me the other day, he said, Chris, no one should be taking up more space in your brain than your wife. And if you got somebody that you're thinking about before you go to bed and when you're thinking about in the morning, you need to.
That's what I've never heard that said, but I'm going to agree with him. There should be nobody taking up more space in your brains. But I'm going to add to that your wife and your kids. Yeah, she exactly. She did that's true, right? She did me a favor. She did me a favor. You just told me you're gonna no matter what I do, you're gonna sue me. And you're not even in my apartment. What are you gonna do when you're in my apartment? Going, you got possession. 9/10 of the law is possession. Yeah, come on. So we're gonna be discussing. No, but the realtor was funny because I said, "Well, I don't have a problem. You have a problem." He says, "Well, what do you mean?" I says, "I never spoke to her. You did." What's she gonna accuse me of saying? I didn't say anything. I didn't say I wouldn't take her. I didn't say I wouldn't show it to her. I didn't say I'm not accepting an emotional support. I never said anything like that. You did. That's on you, kid. I said that's why I hire a realtor, so I don't have to deal with that.
Hey, look, y'all. This week, July 10th, 6 o'clock, I'm going to be with Dan Borrero, Newark, New Jersey. The information to get registered, you're going to get a dinner included. You're going to get my presentation. You're going to see how we approach people for private money. I'm going to show you where to find these people, how to acquire real estate creatively, and how to manage these people after you move them in. This is how the business goes. It ain't fun. It ain't sexy. It ain't all walking through warm and fuzzy open house. Don't you love it when those HGTV places have the open house and they say we got 5 offers on the one open
You know
house?
what I love most is when they do their numbers at the end of the show after they bought it, and I'm looking at those numbers. I said those numbers are so far off, like where they really. It's like
So crazy.
half of the expenses, like closing expenses, they don't even put on there, right? They may put in closing expenses, but the bare minimal. Or it's like
20 grand.
when they'll say, "Oh, I did this kitchen for 7,000." Yeah, you're so full of shit. Yeah, it ain't
They're
happening.
all lying. They're all lying, y'all. They set on a $500,000 house for 20 grand closing costs. Impossible.
Impossible. It ain't happening. It ain't happening.
So learn the real deal. All right, Dan. Well, good to see you. I'm heading up right now, bro. I'm on 95.
So
We on 95.
so tell everybody how they get their tickets for Wednesday night, man.
Yep. So it's the links right in the video description.
DanielBorrellJr.com. Go to our IG pages, or you could just go to DanielBorrellJr.com. Special today is you buy your first ticket, the second ticket if you want to bring your partner, your spouse, your guest, your child. It's $50 only for your second ticket. Yeah. Chris, safe travels, brother. Take care.